Hello, you turkeys, and welcome to episode 76 of the Raging Takes podcast. Today is Sunday, March 24th, 2024. I'm your host, Brian Dixon, joined, as always, by my one and only co-host today, Dylan Peters. What's up, fool?
What up, man?
How you doing?
Good. Had a couple laughs before we started the pod here.
Yeah, we did.
Pretty good morning.
Yeah. Kai is not going to be joining us today. He's dealing with a very big bout of sickness that is brought on by his own damn behavior. Now,
we can't find him.
Kai's not feeling good today. Yeah, we couldn't find him for like 2 hours, dude. He just was not answering our calls or anything, dude. So Dylan and I have just been on TikTok together for 2 hours.
Great, actually. It was a great bonding experience.
It was. We laughed at a lot of stand-up comedy. We watched a bunch of video game clips. We watched the same Charles Barkley clip like 6 times.
Yes, it seems like they recycle some of them.
It was pretty fun. But no, we got just a news episode today. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit of free agency cleanup. We'll start with you need a cleanup. We'll start with Chiefs trading corner L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans for a 2025 third and a 2024 seventh round pick swap. Sneed will sign a contract extension with the Titans. I do not think he has yet as of this recording, but the plan is that he's going to sign a contract extension. It was kind of part of the deal. The trade creates $19.8 million in cap space for the Chiefs. Wow. And apparently other teams who were in on Sneed were the Vikings, the Patriots, the Colts. I guess my question to you is, how do you feel about this trade and who won?
I guess it just kind of depends on how L'Jarius Sneed translates over to the Titans there. Like, is he going to play at that same level that he did? And if he does, it's a win for the Titans because that's not a very hefty price to pay for an all-pro corner.
I mean, like this dude like makes big time plays too. You remember when he punched the ball out from it was Zay Flowers, right? In the and what was it? That was the AFC Championship game, wasn't it? Yeah. So like that, I mean, on the goal line. So like he makes big time plays. Played well in the Super Bowl too. So like this, I think this is a great pickup for the Titans. Honestly, they made a couple of free agent moves in their secondary. They might not be done. I know we said a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, that they're kind of in on Justin Simmons too. That's the only team I've heard about for Justin Simmons. He's still one of the bigger free agents on the board. I haven't heard anything about any other team other than the Titans. I assume there are other teams that are interested in him, but I have no idea where the Justin Simmons thing is right now. But honestly, I think the Titans are having a pretty good offseason right now. I like this. And a third round, a 2025 third too, like that. Fuck, dude, that's nothing.
That's like a 4th round pick this year, pretty much. That's how I would value that.
In a 7th round pick swap, like of course, obviously the Chiefs would have had that. So now the Titans have the last pick in the draft, and the Chiefs are going to have the fucking 9th overall pick in the 7th round or something like that. Big deal.
Yeah, the Titans might have a chance to have like a Mr. Irrelevant situation too. Like they have a chance to get on that draft.
I just punched my computer monitor.
For me, also, if you think about like on the Kansas City side, it's where this late into free agency, we're coming up on the draft. It says they cleared about $20 million in cap space. What are you going to do with that now? What does that do for you now?
Well, let's see. They kind of need offensive line help, but just a little bit. Their offensive line isn't terrible, but it could improve.
But who's there to pay? Who is there to pay? You're just going to pay for depth pieces at this point? Like, there's not a lot. David Bakhtiari? You're going to go get David Bakhtiari off free agency, and he hasn't played very long. So it's like you got to think about it like that with Kansas City. What else could they have paid L'Jarius Sneed here?
Well,
you know what I mean? I
think they only had like $7 million before this trade, so now they're up to like $27 million. So like $7 million, you're not going to do a whole lot of free agency signing with $7 million, you know. So like, you're right that a lot of the good ones are already gone, but I don't know. I think they kind of had to do something like this. Although there was a thing that came out too that said the Chiefs were totally fine with keeping him and just having him play on the franchise tag this year and then worrying about it last year too. So that means that they really liked this deal. If they were cool with not trading him at all, that means they like this 2025 third. So apparently they think this is good value. I kind of don't, but I mean, the Chiefs know more about football than I do, so I guess I trust them. I mean, they've earned being able to trust them in moves like this, but I thought this was kind of a light get back for the Chiefs, honestly. But it seemed like their back was against the wall too a little bit, even though they're trying to say it wasn't.
I kind of see it as like maybe like this frees them up to like package a pick for like a player or something like that in the draft, like how the Eagles did with AJ Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to get they could take on a bigger contract at a different position if they really want to in the draft.
Yeah.
But who knows what they're gonna do. I just know the Titans have been beefing up on both sides of the ball so far. And
yeah, they've had one of the better off seasons, honestly. Like if Will Levis improves at all, like I don't know if they're like a playoff team next year or anything like that, but like they're gonna look pretty promising if Levis takes any sort of step at all. So
I think they have a chance to challenge that division at least, because I think that's depending on how good Houston is this year, which I think they'll be better than last year for sure. They can have a chance to be competitive in the division at least, and towards not like a bottom of the barrel division. Because the AFC South sucks.
The thing is, it could be better next year though, because obviously Houston, like you said, you expect them to be better. I expect them to be better. I think Kai does too. The Colts are the Colts were decent this year with Minshew, so we'll see how that is. I like Anthony Richardson though, so if he can come back from an injury, I think the Colts have at least a shot to be competitive. Obviously the Titans, and then the Jags go back and forth. That's a true 50-50 coin flip. They could be fucking 12-5 next year, or they could be 5-12. So who knows?
If they're 12-5 next year, I'll shit my pants.
People kind of thought they were going to be like that last year, weren't they? And they're coming off like the playoffs and everything, So I don't know.
How it goes. It's tricky.
Which one of these other teams do you think he would have been pretty? Do you think the Titans were the best fit between Tennessee, Minnesota, New England, and Indianapolis? Indianapolis would have been interesting.
Indianapolis would have been interesting, I guess.
The Vikings and Patriots don't even have a quarterback right now or anything like that. So why would you be trading for L'Jarius Sneed and paying him like that?
Maybe the Titans are the most interesting team on that list.
I think they kind of are.
Yeah, I think because you never know where Tennessee's going to go, and you see them making moves and like pushing to be better on offense. I mean, and especially if they're like, look, we got cap space, we're going to try to get Justin Simmons. And then as L'Jarius Sneed, you're like, oh shit, like I want to play with Justin Simmons. That would be a disruptive defense if those guys were in the defensive secondary so much. Like you never, but we'll see how Tennessee does. I think Tennessee might be a good landing spot for a lot of young players looking to kind of like make a name for themselves too.
Remind me who their coach is again. Who they hire? Do you remember?
I thought.
This always happens to me. No, it's not him.
That was the Panthers.
Panthers, yeah. Brian Callahan. That's right, Brian Callahan from the Bengals.
Interesting. Yeah, see, okay. I mean, they could be if he brings that winning culture over there. Like if he is a good coach, you never know.
Yeah. Next up, Mike Williams signs a 1-year, $15 million deal with the Jets. Don't forget, Williams tore his ACL in week 3 last season. Says he's on schedule, expects to be ready for training camp. I think Mike Williams needed to go to the right fit, and I think the Jets potentially can be a right fit because, like, they honestly, other than Garrett Wilson, they don't have a whole lot of weapons in the passing game at all. Like, they don't have like a great tight end. Like Alan Lazard is probably their second best receiver, unless I'm forgetting somebody, which I don't think I am. So like, I kind of like this move, honestly, because if Mike Williams is his normal self, I know he can't really stay on the field ever, but like he is still a talented player. So if he's like his normal self, I actually think this is really good for the Jets.
I feel like the Jets kind of beefed up their offensive line too.
They did. They made 3 moves? Yeah.
Yeah, and Tyron Smith's at the end of his career.
He can still be productive though.
Oh yeah.
Gotta stay healthy.
His big, yeah, especially for like Breece Hall. You want a veteran run blocker in there that could really help your offensive line like that. Like at least he'll be the brains of the operation. Tyron Smith maybe, but yeah, I think Mike Williams, if he could stay healthy, could be good. But can he?
I don't know, dude. I also didn't realize. See, I think I know what you're laughing about. Mike Williams is 29, by the way. Did you know he was that old?
Who?
Mike Williams.
He's 29 years old.
He's 29 years old. Yeah.
And he's only played 3 seasons. It's so weird.
How many games do you think he's played? Let's play the how many games do you think Mike Williams has played in his career?
I'm gonna say
I gotta make sure I get the right Mike Williams here. Okay, this is the right one.
I'm gonna go a flat number. I'm gonna say 40.
You're way off. 88.
Really?
88, dude.
It doesn't seem that way, does it?
No, it seems like he's only been in the league for a few years. Obviously it's because he's injured a lot, but damn, I don't even know. Is he even injured a whole lot? Let's see here. In 2017, he played 10 games. Okay. 2018, 16 games. I think that was before they switched to 17, right? 15 in 2019, 15 in 2020, 16 in 2021, 13 in 2022, and then 3 last year. So really the injury issues have only been like the last 2 years.
I feel like sometimes though,
and like his rookie year,
we forget like guys start games, and he's like, I believe he's the kind of guy that will like start a game and get pulled halfway through as well. You know what I mean? Like a guy
maybe
he misses like the second half.
There's like a handful of games where he played and did not start too. Like in 2017, it was 1 out of 10. 2018, it was 5 out of 16. So, and there's a couple more through the years. So I don't know. He's okay.
I mean, that's really weird. I thought he was a lot more absent than that. But hey, you know what?
That's like the stereotype when it comes to him, right? It was like, oh, Mike Williams is always injured. Well, maybe not, dude. Maybe
not. But hey, I know he burns a lot of people in fantasy when he misses second halves of games and whatnot. So I've never been a huge fan of Mike Williams, but he could be a nice weapon for the Jets.
Yeah, his career high is 10 touchdowns in 2018. He had 9 in 2021, so he is capable. I mean, he had almost 1,200 yards in 2021. 129 targets, 76 catches, 1,146 yards, 9 touchdowns. So he can play at a high level.
He's like a more injured Mike Evans.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for the Jets, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Next up, Jerry Jeudy agrees to a 3-year contract extension with Cleveland, worth $58 million, including $41 million guaranteed at signing. This isn't going to work out, right?
For what? For what? For what? What did he get paid like that for?
I don't know. I think I'm under the impression, I'm checking right now, I do not think he's ever had a 1,000-yard season. In fact, I'm not even sure he's ever been close.
Yeah,
he was close. He was close, I guess, twice, but his closest was 972 yards in 2022. He also had 6 touchdowns that year, so that was his career high in receptions, yards, and touchdowns that year. So,
dude, I legitimately think that Darnell Mooney and Jerry Jeudy showed the NFL you can still get paid even if you don't have good stats as a receiver.
All your agent has to do is say it's a passing league in the contract negotiations, and they're like, fuck, you're right, dude. We need a receiver.
My dude's fast and can run routes. And you could didn't Jerry Jeudy tear his ACL? Who was that? Or was that just every other Broncos receiver?
I don't know.
Broncos receiver did.
I'm actually not sure. He only played 10 games in 2021. I don't know.
But I don't know, dude. It's odd. It's these guys are getting paid like this, so it's kind of like the receiver market's wild right now. Like Calvin Ridley got paid what he got paid, and Jerry Jeudy got paid what he got paid. Like the contracts almost make no sense.
I've always been like a Jerry Jeudy guy too. Like I've been an apologist towards Jerry Jeudy. I've kind of liked his stuff. I'm starting to be on the side where I think I've just been wrong this entire time. I'm starting to come to realize that I think Jerry Jeudy just might not be that good. And even I just don't think I would have paid him this. And I'm someone who's liked his talent for a lot of years too. So I don't think I would have paid him this. The Browns, I don't know, man. They already have questions at quarterback. Now they're doing this. Like I don't know.
If you really look at the Browns, dude, they have Amari Cooper and then poor man's Amari Cooper on the team. Because that's what Jerry Jeudy plays like, is like a poor man's Amari Cooper. He's like not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, but great route running. He can catch some passes, but like maybe not score as much as you want him to.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll
What
see.
the hell?
He could be a decent compliment to Amari Cooper. Like, imagine if he was their number one receiver. This would be like, oh, God, I don't know about this. But Cooper kind of puts a Band-Aid on that. So I think the defenses will be focusing more on Amari. Maybe it'll leave Judy a little open. If Watson can be Watson again, which I don't know if that's possible, but if he can be Watson again sometime here in the near future, you never know. This could work out. But I just don't believe in Deshaun Watson. So I kind of think the Browns might be like a dumpster fire next season. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that.
Dude, Kevin Stefanski could get fired.
And I think he's a solid coach, dude.
Yeah.
Like they played like 16 quarterbacks this year and made the playoffs.
They did. It was a lot of quarterbacks. And Deshaun Watson was the worst, I think.
I don't know. DTR was pretty bad. Deshaun Watson had the worst games of the bunch, but he also had the best games of the bunch. Maybe not Flacco. Maybe not Flacco.
There's just something I trust more about him.
There's something I trust about Flacco. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll see about the Browns here.
We will, dude. It could be good. It could be awful, especially in that division. They're going to have a tough time in that division because you look at all those teams that just got immensely better, except for the Browns, I think.
Yeah, basically.
And they still don't have Nick Chubb coming in.
Like, how are you getting your starting quarterback back and you're worse than you were last year on your fourth string quarterback?
Flacco, dude.
Speaking of terrible, Raiders sign running back Alexander Mattison. I have not been able to find contract details, so I'm hoping it's like a 1-year deal for like $4. But I imagine it's probably like 1 or 2 year for like $5-ish million a year, something like that. If I had to guess, I don't know. I don't like this pickup at all. 180 carries, 700 yards, 0 touchdowns in 2023. He also added 30 catches for 192 and 3 touchdowns in the passing game. So I guess he scored a few times in the passing game to make up for it. Here's a stat for you, Dylan, per Ian Hartitz on Twitter. Madison converted 9 carries inside the 5-yard line into -7 yards and 0 touchdowns last season. Why did the Raiders sign this man? Obviously, Zamir White should be getting goal line carries next year, so keep that in mind for your fantasy drafts because I don't think Madison's going to be that guy. If Madison is anything other than like a change of pace back for Zamir White, this is a disaster. This has disaster written all over it.
This is a terrible signing.
Terrible signing.
By the Raiders. I feel like you can get Alexander Mattison in the 7th round of the NFL draft for free.
And he probably had better hands.
And not fumble as much. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I digress. I hope this guy doesn't really even make the squad, dude.
Me neither.
I hope, honestly, the Raiders... Because honestly, dude, he's just a liability in all ways. Like, if you're a fan of the Raiders, liability. If you decide, he ends up on your fantasy team, liability. It's just he's had a couple good games in his career. He backed up Dalvin Cook. I feel like he took advantage, like he showed flashes, but you got to believe what you see in front of you. And what you see in front of you is just a not very efficient running back who has a hard time scoring at the goal line. And does he have like pass catching ability? Yeah, but you put him in that role only. I think he is a pass catching back at best.
I'm not even sure he's that. I mean, like, sure, his numbers aren't that bad, I guess. I'd have to do the math what 30 for 192 is for yards per reception. It's probably not very good.
No, it's
but, yeah, sure, I guess. I would rather just Zamir White just take like 80% of the touches, honestly. I don't know. I'm not a Madison guy. Poor Tony Pollard, dude. Like, they were like the two like guys back in the day were like, these are the two best backup running backs in the NFL. And then they both get starting jobs last season. They both suck and Pollard gets shit for it continuously and Madison doesn't get anything. Granted, Pollard gets paid though. Madison probably did not, so it doesn't really matter. But the media, and also it's the Cowboys, but the media like shits on Tony Pollard and no one talks about Alexander Mattison at all. Alexander Madison's straight up jag, bro. Like Tony Pollard at least is decent. He just had a tough season.
The Cowboys play calling last year was not very conducive to a running game. They didn't really ever, maybe they did a couple games, but I never remember them like establishing a run game. It was a drop back shotgun pass offense that got Tony Pollard a lot of like here and there runs. You know, he never got to get into his flow, and he was underutilized in a lot of ways. So I think that's less on him. I think the thing with Madison is like his drawbacks are on him.
Mm-hmm. And
Tony Pollard is just a victim of them wanting to throw 900 passes in a season. You know, so okay, I'd take Pollard all day, every day for the rest of my life.
Please, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
he just got McCarthy. No big deal.
McCarthy, dude. It happens.
Happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of guys.
Next up, Saints signed Chase Young to a 1-year, $13 million deal. Now, mixed reports here. I've seen fully guaranteed $13 million, and I've also seen like incentives, like based on playing time. So because apparently he's got a neck injury. So according to Albert Breer, scans on Young's neck made it tough to find a suitor for him as nobody would clear him on his physical, which I assume means the Saints as well, just signing a dude that didn't pass a physical. The condition was initially found last year during the preseason. He will have neck surgery. So I don't know about this at all. If they paid him $13 million guaranteed, that's
not a Saints move. That's not a Saints move.
So I find that hard to believe. I would say both people who did the reports are good sources. So Albert Breer's good. You know, I cannot remember who had the original one. I should have wrote it down. I really apologize, but they're both credible, sources. So I honestly don't know who to believe here. I think I believe Albert Breer. He's the one that had the incentive. So I don't know. We'll see. Last year for the Niners, Young had 2.5 sacks, 10 tackles, 16 pressures in 9 games. Combined with Washington and San Francisco, he had 7.5 sacks, 25 tackles, 41 pressures. So he did record a sack in the Super Bowl. I thought he played really well in the Super Bowl, specifically in the first half. I thought he was really good, but yeah. I don't know about this one. I don't know. He's already had like effort issues. Now, granted, maybe it was due to the neck injury. Who knows? Maybe he was just in a lot of pain, which I completely understand. Neck injury sounds fucking terrible when you're playing football. So, yes, I don't know.
If you're having like nearly 8 sack season and still rushing the passer like effectively with a neck issue like that, maybe we're not seeing the full potential of the guy. But I really hope that if he'll look good in a Saints jersey,
he will.
He's gonna look good in that those All Blacks.
Mm-hmm.
So good for him going down there. I mean, it's like the Saints usually have a good defense too, so he could fit right in. If he has to have neck surgery, man, I don't see the Saints paying him like a guaranteed contract to have neck surgery.
So I'm like, once it came out that he like wasn't even able to pass a physical, I was like, $13 million guaranteed. That can't be right? But I honestly don't know. I haven't heard anyone confirm anything, so I'm not sure.
My neck surgery is going to cost $9 million.
I mean, best case scenario, this could work out beautifully for them, but it doesn't seem like it's going to, right? I wouldn't expect him to either play, or maybe if he does play, it probably won't be playing well off this. I don't know. We'll see.
I wish him the best.
Me too.
Good luck, man.
Good for him for getting another chance here. So we'll see how he does with it.
Even if like he ends up making out with like $9 million, $10 million, or like $8 million, that's still decent pay for like what you've been putting up, bro. If he's gonna be honest with himself, so we'll see.
Deontay Foreman, your old friend.
He is my old friend.
Signs with the Browns. The Browns just making all these crazy moves this week, dude.
Yeah. I feel
this is fine.
This move kind of tells you where they feel with Nick Chubb, maybe.
Probably.
Like, maybe Nick Chubb's not going to be coming back so soon. Deontay Foreman still has some gas in the tank. I mean, he's had some good games. Like, he scores. Deontay Foreman is a end zone hawk, so could be a nice little plug and play guy.
I imagine this is taking the place of Kareem Hunt. I imagine, because I think Kareem Hunt, when he came back, only signed a 1-year deal, right? So I think he's a free agent as well. I imagine Foreman is the Hunt replacement, and they still have Jerome Ford as well. Hopefully Nick Chubb can come back healthy, because if he can't, Ford and Foreman are a perfectly capable duo, I would say. Definitely not going to blow your socks off or anything like that, but they can get the job done. They're not going to have the same production as Nick Chubb, obviously. perfectly fine. Hopefully Chubb can come back next season. Who knows? I could see him being out for the entire season again. I don't know. That knee injury was nasty, bro. So I don't know. And I haven't heard many updates about him. Have you? So I have no idea where he is in rehab. I have no idea. Let me look. Nick Chubb update.
I think what the Browns really need to do is go into the draft and be looking to like snag a power running back somewhere in the middle rounds. Like I think they need a bigger guy in there because Foreman's not necessarily a power back.
Mm-hmm.
He is like a one cut kind of guy. He looks for open space. He's like deceptively quick, near the line of scrimmage. But I think the Browns are going to need a power run game, and you got to go get a bruiser for yourself out there.
6 foot 235, not the smallest dude, not the biggest dude either. Last season for the Bears, 9 games, 8 starts, 109 carries, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, yards per carry average of 3.9. Also had 11 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown on 16 targets. So he's fine.
He's not gonna be your every down back, but I mean, if he can take 100 carries and get you, 500 all-purpose yards and 7 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns even, I'll take that all day as my complimentary back.
Well, I can't read this article because I'm not subscribed to the Akron Beacon Journal, but the little blurb that Google gave me said that team physician Dr. James Voos, who performed the surgery, indicated Chubb would be able to return during the 2024 season. So I guess that's good news. Who knows if he's going to look like Nick Chubb, though? I would imagine he probably won't unless he's got like Adrian Peterson bones or I
hope he does.
I hope he does too. I fucking love Nick Chubb. He's one of my favorite players.
For my APD team, I really need Nick Chubb to come on back.
I mean, he's definitely one of the more fun running backs to watch in the league. It's like him and like Derrick Henry probably are like the 2 most fun running backs. Like especially when they're like Jonathan Taylor's up there for sure, but like Chubb's been doing it for a minute too. I really hope he can return. All right, next up. We don't have to talk too much about any of these. We can kind of just rip through them. But Bills sign All-Pro defensive back Taron Johnson to a 3-year extension, which makes him the highest paid nickelback in the NFL. So good for him. Well deserved. He's a good player.
He's an All-Pro.
Yeah, he's a good player. 49ers reach agreement on a 1-year deal with quarterback Josh Dobbs. I mean...
Quarterback controversy?
If anyone can make something out of Josh Dobbs, it's Shanahan, right? I mean, I definitely don't think Purdy's job is in danger or anything like that, but I think Dobbs could be a pretty good backup for the 49ers.
The Pastronaut?
The Pastronaut, dude.
Dude,
America's sweetheart.
Dude, the alopecia king.
Hell yeah, dude. I like Josh Dobbs, dude. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. Yeah, I think if he was a backup quarterback for my team, I'd be happy with that.
I hate that the Chicago Bears ripped him to pieces on national TV last year, and he was never the same.
That was quite frankly one of the worst football games I've ever watched.
Dude, it was bad. It was really bad.
It was so bad, dude.
The defenses, though, huh? The defenses?
That was the game where Justin Fields threw like 4 picks, right? Or 4 fumbles or something like that. He had so many turnovers.
It was like 9-3, dude.
Yeah. So the Vikings played a 9-3 game against the Bears, and they played a 3-0 game against the Raiders. The Vikings, dude. Once Kirk Cousins got injured, dude, the Vikings just became one of the fucking most boring teams on the face of the earth. And remember, Justin Jefferson was out for a long-ass time, too. Woof. Next up, Leighton Vander Esch renounced his retirement due to a neck injury. Not too surprising after we found out the Cowboys released him for that same injury. So, sucks for him. He was a good player for a minute.
Yeah. And you know what? This isn't on the notes, but it's like a similar kind of thing, except it's from the Broncos, is that they re-signed Tim Patrick.
Did they?
They had just to have him on the roster and pay him, even though he probably won't play.
Oh, that's kind of nice, actually.
It's sentimental.
Yeah.
They'll probably put him on injured reserve again, but he'll still get paid his full contract for a year.
I've never taken Sean Payton and John Elway as a bunch of softies, but that was a really nice move by them.
It was, and he's putting, dude, that's probably the guy that had recently that's had like the most potential to just be a good player, but just been cut down so many times. by injury.
I like to think that meeting went like John Elway came in and was like, hey, we're paying Tim Patrick because we feel really bad about his injuries. And Sean Payton's like, what the fuck? I need people who can play, damn it.
We got 40 million in dead cap.
Next up, Bengals sign Trent Brown, that big old offensive tackle. So the only reason that I put this in the notes was that I thought this was interesting. The Bengals two starting tackles are both 6'8". Orlando Brown Jr. is 345 pounds. Trent Brown is 370 pounds. So Joe Burrow's got like the biggest dudes on earth blocking for him.
They both have the last name Brown as well.
Yeah. So they're both named Brown. They're both 6'8", and they're just standing in front of Burrow, going, "You cannot touch him."
Yeah. That's gonna be rough, dude. I think the Bengals might have a little nice setup for Burrow there. Those are big dudes. You got to think their wingspans are huge too.
I mean, we're so far from the season that I'm not going to pick the Super Bowl winner or anything like that. My trigger finger wants the Bengals so bad. Like they're the front row runners for Brian's Super Bowl team next year. I'm just saying that right now because I want Burrow to win one so bad. Yeah,
he's like the perfect guy to win a Super Bowl, and it's like the one guy in the NFL I really want. That's not a Bear that I really want to win a Super Bowl.
You know that fucking bullshit saying that people say where it's like, it's not cockiness, it's confidence. Like, that isn't true for like 99% of the athletes. It actually is true for Joe Burrow. Like, he's not cocky at all. He's just straight up confident. Like, you can just tell, like, he has like the biggest dick energy of all fucking time. Dick injury. Yeah, I have a lozenge in my mouth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? You can tell that dude's never been worried about a thing in his life.
I need eye drops.
He's like... Joe Burrow's like, I'm tall, I'm handsome, I can sling a football, I haven't got to worry about a damn thing as long as my feet are on the ground.
The window is my entire career, dude. Coldest line of all time. Coldest line of all time.
Yeah, I love it.
I wrote this one for Kai because he likes the Eagles and he also likes Paris Campbell, but the Eagles signed Paris Campbell to a 1-year deal. I think he likes Paris Campbell. He at one point liked Paris Campbell, if I remember correctly. So I kind of wanted to make fun of him for it, but it might be okay. Paris Campbell's not that bad. I get guy drops.
He's fast. Like, Paris Campbell is very fast, and he can kind of like stretch the defense, but he also keeps the bench very warm.
He does keep the bench very warm, dude.
He's going to keep the bench very warm for a very tired A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, just because they got no one else to really be an effective receiver out there. Who
else do they have? They just signed somebody else too, right? Kai was like thrilled about it because it wasn't Quez Watkins. Who did they sign?
Was it? It wasn't MVS, was it?
No. Oh, fuck. Who was it, dude? Hold on. Eagles sign receiver. No, I just gave me Paris Campbell. I should have known that was going to happen.
No, it was kind of like a... Who was it? Willie Snead?
Willie Snead? Is he still in the league? He's not in the league still, right?
No, I think he played for like the Texans.
I don't know who it was, but yeah.
Will Fuller the fifth.
Where did that guy go? What the fuck? I haven't thought about him in a minute.
He got in trouble for like PEDs and never came back.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Is this gonna tell me who I'm looking for? Oh, Devontae Parker.
Oh, see, that's not that great either, though.
No, it's not.
I don't think Devontae Parker's going to be like the guy that just comes out and is like, check me out. I'm your clear-cut number 3 in this offense.
Yeah, Parker he's always just been a jag. Like, he'll make some big plays every once in a while, but he's not like a difference maker, so I don't know.
Paris Campbell could get on the field then.
Yeah. I mean, let's take a look at their stats, eh?
Hey, let's look. I don't think Paris Campbell's played 4 games in his career, but...
Yeah, he has. He definitely has.
I know.
You and your jokes. Paris Campbell and who are we talking about? I already forgot. Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker is the most forgettable guy in the NFL, apparently, according to me. Devontae Parker last year, 13 games, 55 targets, 33 catches, 394 yards, 0 touchdowns. Oh, get ready for this. Paris Campbell, 12 games, 3 starts, 27 targets, 20 catches, 104 yards, 0 touchdowns. Paris Campbell and Devontae Parker combined had 0 touchdowns last season. Did they get a rushing touchdown at least?
Oh my God, dude. Was Devontae Parker on the Patriots last year?
He was. And Paris Campbell was on the Giants, which combined those two teams scored like 7 touchdowns last year.
Oh my God. So that makes sense. Like,
not totally their fault. I'm just giving them shit a little bit.
Yeah. They just played for, I mean, if you're looking for depth, these are 2 decent guys, but I don't think you're getting, like, neither of these guys, I don't think they're going to go gangbusters and have a great season. So
it's not their fault they were playing for shitty coaches like Brian Daboll and Bill Belichick, you know?
That's a sad day, dude. Only one of those guys got let go this offseason.
He doesn't even have a job anymore.
Where'd he go?
He didn't get signed. Chargers signed Denzel Perryman to a 1-year deal. I kind of like Denzel Perryman.
I like his name.
Great name.
Great name in the NFL.
I think he was on Houston last year.
Perryman,
yeah, he was. He was.
He's always been a decent linebacker, right?
Yeah, I think he's a really solid linebacker. Last year he had 76 tackles. 2 years ago for the Raiders he had 154. Went to the Pro Bowl. So like,
what happened to LA, dude? Jeez.
He's also a former Charger too. Got drafted by the San Diego Chargers back in 2015. I believe he was a second round pick. So
it's just his second go around.
Yeah, this is his second go around with the Chargers. He was there from 15 to 2020. Then he spent 2 years with the Raiders and last year with the Texans. And the Raiders and the Golden Knights do like a charity softball game out here every summer. It's really fun. I try to go to it every year. And when he was on the Raiders, he would play in that softball game, and he was like a lot of players do, but like I feel like there was only a couple Raiders that were really signing like a ton of autographs, and he was one of them. Like he seemed like he was a really nice guy. He was taking pictures with fans and shit. So I was like, ever since then, I was like, Denzel Perryman's dope, dude.
Dude, I'd be signing so many autographs if I played in the NFL.
Me too.
My hand would be dead.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to have the most signed merch out there of anyone else.
We say that now until we've been signing autographs for like 10 years, and we're like, fuck this, dude. My hand hurts.
I think it's more fun.
I think it'd be kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Take like silly photos with fans and shit.
I just wouldn't. There would come a point where I'd stop signing things for adults, and I would just only sign stuff for kids.
I would refuse to sign for adults. Refuse. Straight up refuse. Women, okay. I'll sign for I'll sign for women and I'll sign for children. Dudes, absolutely not. I don't ask for autographs because I think it's fucking weird, dude. Like, I'm a grown man asking another grown man for his fucking signature. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, will you write your name on a piece of my clothes?
Dude, that's 4 years younger than me in the NHL. Will you please sign my t-shirt? Get the fuck out of here, dude. I ain't doing that shit.
Will you be my daddy? That's what you're saying.
The worst ones though is like when the grown men send their kids in to get autographs, and it's for them to go like sell shit on eBay and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a coworker who wouldn't even do the kid thing. He would just go up to athletes and he'd go, "What's your name?" As they're like signing the autograph. He didn't even know who they were. He just wanted to go sell them on eBay and shit. I'm like, "You're the biggest piece of shit I've ever met, dude." He's like, "Oh well." I get money out of it. Like, whatever, dude.
I want to go for groceries.
Yeah, so I was like, Jesus Christ, man. You got this like criminal operation we're going to. Next up, Trey White, former Pro Bowl cornerback. I think all pro corner as well. Trey White visited or will be visiting. I don't know what the timeline is. The Rams, the Raiders, the Titans, the Giants. I believe he already visited the Raiders. I think he already visited the Rams. I do not know about Tennessee and New York. I think that he's probably cooked, if I'm being completely honest. I like Trey White a lot. He's been a very entertaining cornerback his entire career. Very good player for the Bills. Achilles injury for a cornerback is probably not good.
No.
It's probably not good. And he's aging too. Yeah. So I imagine he would come at a discounted price. So if the Raiders sign him, I'd be okay with it. I think it'd be a low risk move that's worth a shot. But I don't expect him to be very good. Been in the league since 2017. Last year he only played 4 games, 1 interception, 2 passes defended, 12 tackles. I mean, he only in 4 games though, so not really his fault. But he also had injury issues in 2022 too. He only played 6 games then, only 11 games in 2021, only 14 games in 2020. So he's kind of been having this issue for a while. So I kind of expect him to be cooked.
Even if he could play halfway up to what he used to, I think he's a good fit for any of these teams.
I agree.
I mean, if he can get out of his own head about like anything ego and like take that, limited role in a defense, I think he could be impactful if he's willing to take a step down, because like you said, like if he can't stay healthy or like his body's letting go, dude, you got to kind of roll with the punches there,
Achilles specifically too, man, is just such like a
game, man.
Achilles for a football player is just so devastating sometimes, like even if you do come back, it's like it's just not the same.
I think like one of the guys that really came back from Achilles injury was Deontay Foreman.
Did he have a torn Achilles?
He had a torn Achilles years ago, dude. I remember it was like almost freshly out of college. He had a torn Achilles, and he was out of the league for a couple years. Here, let me see. Achilles.
Achilles?
Yeah.
The Greek god Achilles. 8 chilies.
Yeah, dude, in 2017, Deontay Foreman tore his Achilles.
That was like, was that like not his rookie year? Or when did he get drafted?
It was either his first or his second year. What I'm looking at is basically it takes you roughly like 3 years to get back where you're supposed to be. Because the guy didn't really even start to make any kind of headway in the NFL until years later.
Dude, Deontay Foreman has I know he's had injury issues and shit in his career. Like he has a shockingly low amount of games played in his career. I thought that was way more than that.
Yeah, he was injured. It took him a while to get back.
The only full season he's ever played was the Panthers year.
He just like went gangbusters, dude.
10 games in 2017, 1 in 18, missed 2019 completely. 6 games in 2020, 9 in 2021, and then he had the season in Carolina where he played all 17, started 9. Yeah. And then last year for the Bears, he played 9.
And he was a healthy scratch a lot last year because of our running back situation. But yeah, dude, he has like only 52 career games. I mean, he has a 4.2 yard average and 14 touchdowns.
He's been somewhat productive when he's on the field. He's not a bad running back. Yeah.
But this is the kind of guy he had promise coming in because he was drafted in the 3rd round, dude. Like he was supposed to be like a decent running back, and even a guy with like high upside like Deontay Foreman, like he could have been a really productive, good running back. But that Achilles injury will take you out.
Yep.
And you're never the same after that.
No, I remember the draft too. I remember he was like a really talked about prospect. I mean, like 3rd round running back like these days is like the end of the 1st round. Like it was like, oh man, that's a pretty high pick. So I think he was out of Texas too. Like, Texas produces good running backs and shit historically. So, anyway.
Deontay. Yeah. So it's just like, man, like you said, those Achilles injuries, unless we're going to see how Aaron Rodgers does this year too. Like we're seeing a lot of Achilles injuries, like how it affects maybe.
We'll see how he does one way or the other. Yeah. One career path or the other. Next up, Michael Gallup and Josh Reynolds both visited Baltimore. Okay.
Who cares?
They need receivers, so I think I like Josh Reynolds more than Michael Gallup, I would say, for that fit, but neither one of them are like game changers or anything like that.
The mighty of Colin Gallup used to be like a stud prospect in the NFL.
Injuries again. I mean, injuries and just not being used that often, I guess, in Dallas. They thought he was going to be like their number 2 receiver for a long time, ended up being kind of like their number 3, so I don't know. Odell Beckham visited the Dolphins. Man.
It could be, I mean, that's a quite a locker room presence out there to pair with Tyreek Hill.
And Jalen Ramsey.
Oh my God. That locker room would be annoying, dude.
And Mike McDaniel.
Always
you got some goofballs in that locker room, dude. Odell is obviously on the downside of his career, so whatever. It'd be cool. Oh, yeah. He would look cool in that uniform.
I think so too. I think he would love Miami.
He would fucking love Miami.
Odell's like, I can't believe I didn't ever always play in Miami, bro.
Isn't he dating Kim Kardashian now?
Is he?
I think he is.
Oh man, what a pairing!
Keep away, Miami. Keep away. Caleb Williams Pro Day happened this week. I didn't watch. Did you?
I saw some snippets and a few of the things he did.
What did you think?
I thought he handled it well. I thought he showed that he has, a cannon. I feel like the Pro Day is like showing off some of the special talents that you have. Like, it's not so much about like what throws you can make, like in the traditional sense. I feel like it's become kind of a circus.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a bunch of the rolling left and throwing, setting his feet and throwing, and he launched like a 70-yard ball rolling left. I
saw it.
Quite nice.
I saw that one. Yeah.
It wobbled a little bit, but you know what?
It looked nice
for what it is.
Yeah,
it looked nice. He still launched it. He did on his final snap of his pro day, he took the snap and just impromptu punted a ball like 50 yards downfield.
That's pretty sick. For no reason. What if he would have tore his groin?
Dude, I just think he's just showcasing some skills that he might have. Like, I think he's shown like in his games, he's got the elusive pocket presence. Where one thing that I've noticed, I watch a lot of Caleb Williams like tape. Not necessarily like
you're breaking down the all 22.
I just watched all of his throws, or his dropbacks on some games. And the one thing I got to give this guy that I saw that I maybe don't see with like other players is he's always got his eyes down the field. Like the whole time he's like dodging these dudes on the field. He's just looking forward. And I'm like, it's good that he doesn't drop his eyes and start to run, because some quarterbacks do that. But
he's not a check down, Charlie.
I hope not.
I hope not either, for your sake.
Yeah. And you know what? He had a really good relationship with his teammates still. Like, they were celebrating on the field, they were wrestling, they were doing this and that. So I liked his teammate chemistry at with his USC guys. And it seemed like the Bears front office was just there because it looks good to be there,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they met. I'm sure they met with him behind the scenes and shit too, and talked to him.
Yeah, I think they had.
Keenan Allen was there.
Yeah, Keenan Allen was swagged out in Bears gear.
I saw that. They like dapped each other up and shit. Yeah,
dude, Caleb Williams and Keenan Allen are friends before this whole shit. Like, they talk a lot. They have a relationship already. So
that's good.
I could see why they would go out and get him, and I really hope that translates onto the field. I hope DJ Moore likes Caleb Williams, dude. And I hope he's not like, oh, I want to go play for Pittsburgh.
Like I said, I'm ready to be hurt again, dude. I kind of like the Bears right now. The Bears are looking kind of solid, dude. I'm just saying. I'm ready to be hurt again. I mean, by hurt, I don't care at all. But I want to be right. I want to be right eventually when I think the Bears are good. I feel like every time I think the Bears are good my entire life, they've been bad. And every time I think they're probably really bad, they're kind of good. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, and it's kind of sad.
It's basically, do the Bears have a top 3 defense? Yes. Okay, they're 50% chance of being good. Do they have a top 3 defense? No. 0% chance of being good.
We have to have a top 3 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And have a rushing game that gets us like 2,000 yards and 25 touchdowns.
And a quarterback that throws between like 6 and 15 touchdowns.
And yeah. Mm-hmm. Shit. It's really bad, dude. When a quarterback throws 20 plus touchdowns in Chicago, we're like, our future's looking bright.
What was that? Do you remember the stats that you sent me on the TikTok the other day? Like how many yards and completions you would need in order to break the rookie record for the Bears or something? It was incredibly low.
It was roughly.
It was like 1,100 yards.
Dude, wait. Let me go back. Dude, it's. Dude, where is it?
I gotta look up some shit for this next topic too here.
Dude, it's. Okay, so here it is.
Okay.
If Caleb Williams throws for 196 completions, 2,193 yards, and 11 touchdowns, he will break the Chicago Bears all-time rookie passing records.
I mean, to be fair, the Bears have only been around for like 20 years, right?
Yeah, we're one of the newest franchises.
They're the last expansion team. Yeah.
The last expansion team. That is basically if that's the worst quarterback in the league numbers.
Yeah. Or like a solid year for like Alex Smith.
Dude, 11 passing touchdowns.
Yeah. That's bad. That's really bad.
And we've drafted 2 guys in the first round since 2017. I'm pretty sure Tyson Bagent got close to these numbers, bro.
Would Patrick Mahomes have broken that record?
Yeah.
Probably not. No, because he would have been a Bears quarterback. He'd be out of the league right now. That's mean.
He'd be a backup for like the Titans right now to Will Levis.
Daniel Jones's backup, yeah.
We snuff out any light in your eyes as a quarterback in Chicago.
Traded the Steelers for a 5th-round pick or whatever, a conditional 5th. Netflix announced a receiver series, kind of similar to the quarterback series that they ran last year with, speaking of Mahomes and Marcus Mariota and whoever else, Kirk Cousins. Now they're doing a receiver series. This time it's going to feature the likes of Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm in. It debuts this summer.
I think it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it sounds like at first I was like, man, but what if like George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, it's like too many 49ers players or whatever. But what if they're hanging out, bro?
Yeah.
What if they're hanging out together? Chilling, dude. That might be fun to watch.
And also, I think Kittle and Deebo both seem like super interesting dudes. So it's like, I don't care they play for the same fucking team. I'm not here to watch, teams or anything like that. I just want to see some, NFL personalities behind the scenes. I think that's kind of cool. And to see sideline stuff. Like I'm sure Kittle especially is probably extremely entertaining on the sideline, mic'd up.
Oh yeah.
I remember he didn't jump on a fumble in the Super Bowl because he was saying hello to the opponent.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Oh, there's a ball on my heels right now that you're diving for? Oh, whoops.
I think it'll be good. Like, I'm interested to see the ins and outs of Amon-Ra St. Brown's life. Like, I know nothing about the guy.
His dad's kind of
loopy guy.
Yeah, he's I was trying to think of the right word. He's kind of like a funny dude, isn't he? Kind of like a weird guy. I think I remember that. I think I remember him being interviewed because his 2 sons' names are Amon-Ra and Equinemius. So I think they're like, I think he's just like a goofball. And so that would be entertaining too. I don't know. I could be mixing him up with another receiver's dad. I don't know. No. I'm going to go with it though. I like to think that this is what Netflix did. So there was rumors, I remember last year after the success of the quarterback series, that they were looking for more quarterbacks. I heard that Matt Stafford was interested in signing on. Haven't heard anything about it since. I think they probably were asking quarterbacks and nobody really wanted to do it. They didn't want to have the behind the scenes stuff or whatever. They just wanted to focus on the season type stuff, quarterback talk. Yeah. And Netflix is like, well, who are like athletes that like really like the camera? They're like,
Receivers.
Like you're talking about like people who'd be like really entertaining and like crazy and dramatic for no reason. Like, yeah. What about like wide receivers? Yeah. Like, oh yeah. Devontae, do you want to be on? Yes. He's just like, yes, I want to be a part of a movie. So
I think you could do 7 seasons of receivers.
You can just do like 2 receivers a season. You'd probably get a ton of content depending on which receivers they are. Yeah. You probably don't even need this many guys.
It's going to be 20 episodes.
Yeah. If Netflix had any balls at all, they'd make an episode with Antonio Brown. That would be disastrous. A PR nightmare.
Just do Antonio Brown and Chad Johnson. Like 2 of the craziest guys. Like Chad Johnson for a different reason. Do retired NFL players. I want to see Jay Cutler again.
Just a day in Jay Cutler's life?
Smoking meats.
Isn't he on Inside the NFL now?
I guess. I heard he goes fishing a lot. So
does he? Okay.
What a great guy.
Last but not least, some rules talk. The NFL Competition Committee proposing new rules as they do every offseason. First up, elimination of the hip drop tackle. if you don't know what the hip drop tackle, it's basically when the defender kind of like wraps his arms around the waist and then kind of just drops his entire weight down to bring the defender down. It leads to like awkward landings for the player that's being tackled, potential like broken ankles, broken toes, broken feet, sprained ankle, shit like that. It could, like knee injuries even too. So it seems like that's going to be eliminated. The players do not like it. I think specifically defensive players probably don't like it at all. But the Players Association not in on this one. I bet it gets passed. I have no idea though. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see about that one. Next up, I don't know. Well, first actually, before we move on, do you like that? I don't think you should. I don't think they should get rid of it. How many like you're only giving them like 2 ways to tackle anymore, dude? Like this game is a joke now.
Yeah, it is.
Can't hit high, can't hit low, can't fucking can't wrap around the way you're supposed to tackle and pull back. It's like fuck, man. I don't like. It's making it so hard to be a defensive player. It was already like super hard to be a defender in the NFL, and now it's way harder. I don't like it personally.
How is like a cornerback, like a nickel cornerback, gonna tackle Derrick Henry? If you can't
true.
You can't use physics. If you can't use physics, and you can't trip, you can't get down and swipe his feet because that's tripping.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you have to shoestring tackle Derrick Henry
or pull his dreads down.
Yeah, you can still.
You can still do that.
You can still tackle by people's hair.
Yeah, you can pull them down from their scalp, but you can't hip drop tackle. Fucking hell, dude. Come on, man.
Next, the NFL is going to be like every offensive skill player has to grow their hair out,
so it's an even playing field. And if you're bald, you're out of the league. Prepare to learn CFL, buddy.
Dude, oh my god, dude, it's just bad. It's like when I was growing up, ESPN and all of the major networks used to highlight the hardest, most brutal, gruesome hits every week. Just jab dog, like guys getting CTE, dude. Like it used to be just like, look at this guy get his head smashed. Oh shit.
Remember Jacked Up on ESPN?
Yes, dude, Jacked Up. Like
I love that segment when I was like 14.
Just guys getting knocked unconscious.
Yeah, if you ever go back on YouTube and watch old ones, it's like barbaric almost. The way that like Chris Carter and Chris Berman and Randy Moss, whoever, it's probably not Randy Moss was still playing, but whoever was on Countdown back then, Steve Young, who knows? It was very Tom Jackson, very funny. Next up, I'm going to save one of these for last because it's I don't fully understand it yet, so we're going to break it down real time. Next up, trade deadline could be moved back. That doesn't matter to me at all, do you?
I know I like it.
You like it? Okay. I don't.
Yeah, week 8, I was like, dude, okay, the game's 18 weeks now. You need to move it back to week 9.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Just because now it's unbalanced. It's like not symmetrical. So
yeah, I don't know what the actual proposal is. Like, if it's to week 9, week 10, whatever. I'm not 100% sure, but
make it week 12. Who cares?
Yeah, I honestly do not give 2 shits when the trade deadline is. Next up,
or the tush. Just do a hybrid rule, dude.
I just spit all over my mic. No, I'm sorry. I as you interrupted me, I spat all over my fucking microphone. So
just make it to where once you become playoff ineligible, you can't trade anymore.
Oh, I like that.
Boom, done.
No, there still needs to be a because
make it a week 12 deadline. But if you're eliminated from the playoffs
before that,
12, you're done. You can't trade off any more your shit. You're done.
And to be fair, being eliminated by week 12 is hard to do too. Like that's still pretty early in the season. So yeah, I don't hate that.
That's fantasy rules, bro. That's fantasy football rules.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
You're done. Anyways, I digress.
Next up, the tush push will remain a legal play through at least next season. They're not changing it this year. I do think it's interesting, though, that the person making this decision is former Eagles safety Troy Vincent, who is now leading the NFLPA, I believe, or he's or the competition. No, he's leading something. He's leading something. I don't have his title.
Yeah, he's like
he's one of the head guys in the NFL offices. I don't know what his actual title is, though.
Like he's like the player representative, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay.
He's an NFL executive, according to what I'm looking at here.
That's so crazy, dude. He's doing good with his life.
Troy Vincent he used to play for Washington. I think I remember when our moments episode that we did, our favorite moments ever of our fandom, that field goal block that Sean Taylor returned or whatever, the face mask. Troy Vincent was the one that blocked the field goal. He played for Washington for like 7 games, had one of like the best plays of my life. And he was like 38. He was so old. I think that was his last season in the NFL.
Like, thank you. It's like when Tracy Porter picked off Aaron Rodgers twice. Brett Favre, I was like Brett Favre Remembrance Day or some shit. I was like, I love Tracy Porter.
This is what Troy Vincent said. This is a Schefter tweet. NFL is leaving the tush push as a legal play for 2024. NFL executive Troy Vincent said today that there will not be any proposal presented this offseason to ban it. Quote, the Eagles, Vincent said on a conference call, do it well, end quote. Oh, nice, former Eagle, letting them continue the tush push. I'm calling bullshit. I wish Kai were here. I'm calling bullshit.
Dude? What is that little snippet that he gave at the end, dude? Why? That sounds shady.
The Eagles do it well. Stop hating. And I actually agree with him, but I wish it was someone other than someone who used to play for the Eagles telling me that it's still legal. Because now I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, bro? Like Troy Vincent and his assistant Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook. And I just like, how many of these people do we have infiltrating the NFL offices, dude?
What do you these people?
I'm at Eagles, sorry. I'm at Eagles. That sounded bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Next up. Control yourself, damn it.
It's a joke, dude. It's a joke.
Get control of this fucking podcast, Brian. Get control of the podcast. All right.
You got it, dude. It's wacky and wild.
The kickoff. Have you heard anything? Oh, God. Kai's here silently in the background. Did you hear about the kickoff rule? Do you know anything about this kickoff rule?
They're changing it to what looks like we're moving towards some kind of weird, like they're going to eliminate kickoffs almost immediately, it seems.
So actually they're trying to get returns back up, but they're trying to do it in a safer way. So
all they did was move all the blockers to 5 yards in front of the kickoff area.
So this is ESPN's article. This is how it would break down. The kicker would continue to kick from the 35-yard line. The other 10 players would line up at the receiving team's 40. At least 9 members of the return team would line up in a, quote, setup zone between the 35 and 30-yard line. Up to 2 returners can line up in a landing zone. This is how confusing this is. Between the goal line and the 20-yard line. No one other than the kicker and returners can move until the ball hits the ground or a player inside the landing zone. Touchbacks would be marked at the 35, and no fair catches allowed.
Wait a minute. Touchbacks would be at the
35. The 35. So that means that they're going to try to get them to not kick it through the end zone, try to get them to return it, but with less, what's the word I'm thinking of? Less momentum down the field, It should lead to less violent hits.
So basically the blockers and the return, or the blockers and the gunners, are going to be basically 5 yards from each other whenever they could start moving.
Yes.
That could honestly get returns back up, and touchbacks could be gone. And this is really good for a little bit of
and I love it.
Scoring. APB scoring is about to go up, dude.
Yeah, we have kickoff return yardage in our dynasty league, so
Rashid Shaheed, baby.
Honestly, anything that either fixes or completely gets rid of the kickoff, I'm all in, because it's not good how it is right now. It's literally we waste, I don't know, hours of our life every single NFL season just watching kickoffs that will never get back. It doesn't nothing happens on kickoffs ever for the last 10 fucking years. It's a useless football play. Why do we do it? I've never understood that since they started taking the kickoffs away. Basically, I hate the rule. They should have just eliminated it completely. Just everybody starts at the 25-yard line after a score. Every single, or the 20, doesn't matter. Everyone starts at the 20 or 25 after a touchdown or a field goal. Every single person, doesn't matter. Their team.
Dude, the 35, the touchback at the 35 is a game changer.
Yeah,
that's amazing field position, dude.
So this apparently is how the XFL did it. and now that they are merged with the USFL to make the UFL, they're going to back to the NFL way of doing it. So they're going to be they're doing it the way the NFL's been doing it for the last 10 years, and now the NFL's trying to take the XFL's rule. I'm in. I like that. I hope this passes. I hope this passes.
I would like to see how it goes, because if it gets, dude,
Oh, here's another thing too. In the event a team wants to attempt an onside kick, it would have to inform officials of the attempt and would then be allowed to use the NFL's traditional formation. But I think I read, I can't find it right now.
Onsides?
No onsides until the fourth quarter, I believe, is a rule. I have not seen it, but I'm almost positive I read that earlier.
Dude, I got to tell you, from where they're actually kicking off now to the landing zone, they have to land it inside the 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could do some crazy strategic kicks inside that 20-yard zone right there. Because your guys that now, if you get a guy that can break free, he's going to get to that landing zone fairly fast.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do a sky kick, and you could really fucking have some things going on over here, too. It could be a lot of turnovers on kicks this year.
It'll be interesting to see too how like the tackling team handles it too, because if you just line 9 dudes up in a row, like all they gotta do is just break through one hole and they're just gone, except for maybe the kicker, But
yeah.
So there's got to be like strategy too. They're gonna have to line them up in a certain way. I don't. I'll just have to see how it is on the field. But I like it. I hope it passes. I think they need 24 of 32 votes for it to pass. I hope it passes.
Devin Hester would have 19 kickoff return touchdowns with these rules.
Yeah, he absolutely would.
He's like, y'all are standing still? Whack!
All right, that's it.
What is going on?
That's it for the episode. Nice little news up. Just the boys hanging out. Just the boys hanging out.
A silly goose time we're having over here.
You find us everywhere on social media at Raging Takes, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. You can email us, ragingtakes@gmail.com. I'm Montana Sauce on Twitter. Dylan is such a wise fool. Kai is at RTP Kai. We'll see you next time.
Hey, like and subscribe. This is the 4th time.
Are you just gonna count it every single? Is this your new bit? This is the new ticket price thing.
This is the new ticket price thing.
This is the 1500th time I've said it.
I hope we go that long.
All right, guys. See you next week.